Hey, I was thinking about you, Ashadion, and the presentations that you were making and the workshops that you did, and I realized this is the kind of teacher you want to hang out with. Okay, just because um, how do I put this? There, when she was covering in, I think it was 15 out of 17 New World Order. She covered about crystalline technologies, and the easiest way to translate this without naming names and seeded races and all the rest of that, I try and leave like picking, playing a blame game kind of thing, and I don't do that because I'm an eternal energy being. I'm an eternal love energy being. I've been an eternal love energy being since I was 4 years of age. So I know where my home is. My home is in the primal sound and light field. Okay, so a couple of minutes ago when she was covering a lot of the changes that people will experience when you're doing grid work, right? When you're doing grid work. And that was an interrupt. That's what it does. It wants to distract you from your train of thought so the information doesn't come out. Because how do you think that system came to be? Right? So it's much, and when I set myself on fire in 2016, right? And if you go and look at her stuff, you'll see why 2016 was an important year when it came to doing grid work, right? And what she mentioned about crystalline technologies and how those apply, certainly artificial intelligence is never going to be able to learn as fast as we do. That means that crystalline technology will always be far ahead of them, because we're talking founder races here, root races here, eternity. So that means that if you're running on eternity, you're learning at a higher rate of speed than they are. So we're always going to be on the higher end of the curve on technologies. Okay, so, they're all about competition because they're always running behind. Okay, so what it means is that it's like a rebuild. Because when I was 4 years of age, it's like I already have a frame of reference, right? Okay, so I already know where home is. My true self, my oversoul self, is always in the primal sound and light fields. But I'm in this. So this becomes a sound instrument, okay, to do grid work. So when you're in this, right, and you're rebuilding everything that's been lost as a result of fragments of souls, as a result of wars over holding energy captive. That's their dilemma. That's what happens to a fallen state of consciousness that is no longer experiencing the primal light field, and it locates something that is. That's your Anunnaki. Okay? And the alliances that they form and the agreements that they form that they do not honor, which means they can't be trusted. So they use their technologies, right? And we have ours. So we have technologies they haven't even thought of and they can't even imagine because they're not there yet. Okay? That's the truth of it. And they know that. So they're always living on borrowed time. That's right. Because they know that there will always reach a point when, okay, that's enough. Because, see, for me, it's always going to be for eternity, like when I work with hybrids, Anunnaki Draco hybrids, to try and heal them and bring them back before they fell. Believing that the energy that can be transmuted and the codes can be sent through one of their own, because they have lines of communication to their parents, of that seeded race bloodline, the Anunnaki race bloodline. That's called code transfer. To try and help rebuild Anunnakis. The whole seeded race of them that fell. That's the truth of it. It's actually relates to, as I mentioned this before, wanting to heal everything back to the beginning of all creation that began with the crystal spire. That's really what it is. So that nobody will ever suffer and instead will experience the smoothest transition to go back to feeling what I do, which is eternal unconditional love that I have for everything, which is for all life, including them, obviously. Right? So when she was talking about changes that are occurring over time space, that's sort of what I measure, but it's really just already knowing where you're going. And then you become aware of the speed at which those incremental changes are actually occurring by how much you're taking on board, right? As those changes are occurring and what they feel like at the mental level, the physical level, the spiritual level, the physical level, all the different levels, right? So I just put a projection in from the sun as if my soul is in the sun, because it is. Okay, my oversoul can move through that sun as if my soul is looking as a lens, a camera eye at the earth, right? Where the sun is pink, and I'm looking at a reflection of what I am, which is pink, and seeing the earth pink back to me like a mirror. And did that like discs. So I pictured 3. You know what a lei is, like Hawaiian lei, the flower leis of roses, pink roses. A larger one below my heart, one underneath that, and then another one closer to my neck. 3 that are around the shaft, the rod that goes up through the entire Cathara grid. So there'd be like pink discs of pink roses spinning, right? Like a drill motor, going vertical and horizontal. So that you see a ball, a sphere of pink light. So I'm a ball of that pink light in the sun, projecting, astral projecting down onto the earth as it's moving horizontal on its horizontal beam, right? And the vertical staff, and seeing the earth pink. So it's like you already know where you're going, and the incremental procession, a procession of going forward, and then measuring the impact, what I call impact, like an impact statement, measuring the impact and how the physical body and the emotional body, the mental field, and my spirit, soul are experiencing it. Measuring it as you absorbing it, because you're like a polarity ego. There's just like a sponge. Give it all to me, because we love all the energy that represents the all creation is the energy that we are, right? And so it's fascinating. It's exciting. I've known this for many years and tried to share it with others. You may not know this, but you're actually experiencing the most exciting time to be alive in the entire all creation, this entire universal template. So my heart belongs to all of you that helped make this happen in all the places that you were at as a salvage mission, in a Know Me planet. So those that know me know how deep my heart loves all of you. It goes on forever and always. Always. Which is the center point of a sphere, which is the center point of a sun, is pink. Rose. A rose heart, a pink rose heart. So anyway, have a good night. Be good to yourselves. Take care of yourselves.